Hello and welcome to this Beard Clipper video. In this video I'm going to show you how I have made a diorama of the SR71 Blackbird, which happens to be my favourite aeroplane, covered in icicles. Now I got a picture of this and printed it out, love it absolutely so much that I decided that I was going to turn it into a diorama, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I really hope that you enjoy this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I do reply to all those comments, so yeah, it really inspires me. So yeah, don't be shy, do say hi if you can. And yeah, I'm not going to ramble on too much. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again at the end.
I have no idea who took this picture. I got it off the internet, and I think that the link that I have for it is now dead, unfortunately. If it's not, I'll try and remember to put it in the description below. However, I'm going to make a model of this. It's been on my mind for a very long time, and now that I've finished the plane in memory of my father, I'm going to crack on with this. So as you see, it's an SR71 with a load of icicles, and yeah, I have a 1/72 scale SR71 model that I bought ages ago, so I'm going to have a quick look at it. Let's get it opened up and get it assembled, painted and put onto a cool display board with lots of icicles hanging off it. Here's model kit, an Italeri, whatever, SR71 Blackbird with drone that I bought ages ago with the express intent of making what you've just seen. So yeah, as you can see, it's brand new in box. I've not even taken out the plastic, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to assemble this evening, and hopefully get this done, get this assembled and built. It's my favourite aeroplane of all time, the SR71, absolutely amazing, and I'm very excited. I actually have 3 SR71 kits. I have 2 1/48 scale up in my stash, and this smaller one, which is what I'm going to start on. So yeah, I will do regular updates about how it's going, and if there's anything interesting or complex about this particular kit, I will highlight it, but I'm not going to film the entire process. I'm not sure how I'm going to paint it because it's already black, which is not the greatest of ideas for a black plane, but never mind. So I'm going to take it out, have a quick look at it, and start to assemble, follow the instructions, and hopefully it will be an easy build, and I can get on to doing the scenery, which is obviously the thing that interests me the most. But yeah, let's get to it. Well, this build is going quite nicely so far, which is good. As you can see, I've managed to get the cockpit done and painted, and I've managed to assemble the fuselage, getting that on its way. I'm just about to put the bottom of the wings on, and I just thought I'd shoot this because it shows just how well thought out this kit is. It's not perfect by any means, but it's quite well thought out, and I did this perfectly off camera every time I tried it. No, it's not going to work as well, but you just slide it in basically. There we are, and that now has, you can see how easily that fitted in, and there's going to be a need for some glue around the edges to hold it securely together. But apart from that, it's a pretty nifty little bit of kit, and a pretty nifty way of assembling it, which I quite like. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I said to myself just before, it's been so long, I've been looking forward to making this kit. Like I say, I've got 2 more to do, which are bigger, but this one is the first one I wanted to build, just to give myself a bit of a practice. And yeah, it is definitely going together well. Now there's a little bit of cleaning up to be done. I think that needs to slot inside. There we are, that's it. So that slots inside the wing. It's just nicely done. It's just nicely done, what can I say? So I'll get the glue on that, get that glued together. And yeah, we're starting to, as you can see, we're starting to really get to the end. This is step 5, which is, yes, it's moving along quite nicely. Very happy. We're making really good progress putting this together, and it is a really nice kit. Much easier than the last one. That Canberra is much more annoying than this. But where I've got to on this now is the next instructions are putting the wheels on, which is cool. I've just assembled the engines, put the vertical stabilizer on, and yeah, really coming together. I mean, is there a prettier, nicer looking aeroplane than that? I would challenge you to suggest one. If you think there is, please feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. You're wrong if you don't agree with me. SR71 is the most beautiful plane there is. So yeah, just going to let that to set now before I start working on the underneath. Like I say, I've only just put those vertical stabilizers on, and yeah, pretty pleased with how it's looking, and I'm now really looking forward to getting this painted and onto a base. But it's going to be a little bit of a delay because I'm about to go away again. So it'll be at least a week before I can touch this again properly. I might get to it tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, happy with how it's looking so far. And I've got my Blackbird on his legs, which is really cool. That was a lot of fun to do actually, quite a nice easy kit to build this. I have glued the glass on the cockpit as well, but I have noticed while setting up for this shot that the front bit has come loose, so I need to glue that again. This is glued using PVA, so I've obviously just not quite put the PVA in the right place. I am considering, the next step is going to be painting. I am considering getting some liquid mask for doing the cockpit. I think that masking is going to be beyond my ability with masking tape, but I'll give it a try with masking tape. If not, I'll order the liquid mask. I have to wait for that to arrive. But yeah, really nice kit to put together. Everything just went straight. Only thing that's slightly not right is this little join here, which I could have done slightly better. But yeah, I mean, I could maybe do something about that, but I probably won't, because I'm going to be putting quite a lot of like frost and what have you and ice over it, so it'll probably end up being covered up by that anyway. But really cool project, really nice kit to make. Italieri have done a great job on this. So yeah, I'll get the masking done. I'll show you what I end up doing, whether it's masking tape or I get some liquid mask, and then it'll be a case of painting and then doing the diorama. So yeah, pretty pleased. So what I'm going to do is apply my liquid mask to the cockpit area. Absolutely brand new, haven't even taken this off. Woohoo! And I've no idea how this works, so we're going to give it a go. So I think I'm going to paint it on and then let it dry, and then tomorrow probably what I'll do is I will paint, do the priming, and then do the painting of the model. It says don't leave it on for too long. It doesn't say how long too long is, unfortunately. So hopefully I'll be able to get this all done with how busy I am before it's left on for too long. It applies nicely, so that's good. So yeah, I will get this done, and then I'll bring you along once it's dry, because what it says is to leave it to dry before you do anything. So yeah, I'm going to actually spray primer this with some black, and then I'm going to brush dark blue on it. I think that's my plan, though I might just spray primer it black and leave it, because I thought that a Blackbird was black, but I've since read that it was actually midnight blue and not black at all. But this is going to be covered in icicles anyway, so whatever. Right, enough nattering. Let's finish getting this painted on, and I'll bring you along for the next step when I get to it. So I painted this on a couple of days ago, and I actually thought that it had failed, and I was like, oh, so I just left it. And I've looked a little bit closer, and it's just dried clear. So what I now need to do is go and put my primer on this, and then hopefully rub that off. But yeah, who knew? That's what it looks like when it's dried. And anyone that makes the same mistake as me and thinks it hasn't worked, I thought it had actually like come off the top, but I can feel that it is actually all over the whole of it, which is good. So I'm going to use an aerosol to spray paint this black, and that should be pretty much the painting done, nice and lazy, because the purpose of this is to do the icicles. But yeah, I just thought I'd show that, because if any of you are using this and aren't sure what to expect, you might make the same mistake. Right, so I have spray painted this several coats with black primer, and that's good. And what I'm now going to do is see live on camera whether my masking worked. So just using my nail, it does appear to have done. Oh, look at that. Let's get that right zoomed in. I don't know if you can hear the sound it's making, but It's a very satisfying little peeling sound. That is awesome. There we are, just like that. So very, very pleased with this masking. Let's see if I can get the bottom one off. Of course, the challenge is to do this and not have it damage the rest of the paint, and as you can see, I've managed that. So now I think that's it actually. I don't think that was masked, was it? Excellent, that worked very, very well. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is going to be putting on decals, painting up the little details, and then I'll bring you along when I've done that. Might show you some of the decals, but the final thing is going to be the ice, which is obviously the most important part of this. Well, the next thing to do on this is to apply all of the transfers. So I won't do that on camera because there's lots of fiddly ones, as you can see from the picture. But once I've got that done, I'll be pretty much ready to finish this project off with the icicles, which is what I started it for. So yeah, it sat untouched for quite a long time. You can see that it's got a little bit of dust on it, just because I've been too busy to work on it. But yeah, I'm going to try and get this done in terms of the transfers over the next couple of days, and then we can hopefully start working on all those awesome icicles. Well, thanks to Lekdog, who commented on my last vlog and pointed out that I should have taken some masking off of this area as well. And now it has been weeks. So hopefully it'll come off right without damaging it. And it really should have been taken off at the same time. And I totally and utterly made a mistake. But it looks like it's coming off alright. Even after weeks, it's peeling off okay. So let's see how well I can get this removed. There we are, look at that. So even if you forget and you leave it for weeks and weeks, that mask, that liquid mask still comes off. And thank you very much to Lekdog for spotting that and saying, hang on a minute, I'm sure you masked off the other window. I am forgetful. Well, unfortunately, it seems that my microphone, while it was plugged in for this clip, was actually had a dry connection, so the audio was terrible. But I spent about an hour and a half that evening, and I worked on the transfers, as you can see, and very pleased with how that looks. It makes such a difference, and adds so much character to the build when you start putting these transfers on. I don't think I'm going to do every single transfer for this one. However, I am probably going to do more than you see here. I'm really looking forward to getting the whole build done and putting the icicles on. But first, I do need to finish these transfers. But anyway, there we are. Just thought I'd record a little clip, as you really can't hear my audio on the original. Well, my frozen Blackbird project has languished for quite a while in real time. Months I've sat there, I've been looking at it. I've had various other things I've been working on, but I really want to get this done. I want to get it out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the final of the transfers on that I'm going to do. I'm not going to put all the transfers on, because then afterwards I'm going to be putting like the frosting over the top. And I've also been looking at these. These arrived a little while ago. These are actually bush icicles. So I bought a few packs, way too many. I didn't realise I'd get so many in a pack, so I bought quite a few packs. I was originally going to make my own icicles, but I saw these and they're going to be absolutely perfect. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be finishing off the transfers, but I thought I'd quickly also show these. So as you can see, they're really nice, and they are going to be stuck around the edges of the plane. And how I'm going to do the frosting on top, I'm not totally sure yet. So if anyone has any ideas, drop them in the comments below. It might be I've already done it, but yeah, drop them in the comments below anyway if you've got any ideas. My one idea is to use PVA glue, which if I paint that on, then that might kind of like flake a little bit, and it might look a little bit like frosting. So that's one idea I've got, so I might try that. Anyway, so I'm going to finish off my transfers. I'm not going to do very many more, but there's a couple around the cockpit that I want to do. So yeah, so I'll get that done, and then I will, when that's dried and all gone on properly, then we'll come and have a look at the actual icicles, and I will do a base for it, and then finally this will be done and I can put it on display, which I'm very much excited for. Well, while I was working on these transfers, I've realised I've made a bit of a mistake, which I was having an eye about whether I was going to fix, and I am going to fix. So if we have a look here, you can see that it shows the windows as being very small, and you actually put some of these transfers on there. However, if you look at what I've got very large windows, and if you look closely, it wasn't very obvious at all, but if you look closely, I don't know whether that's going to come out at all on the video, but you can see where the panes should be. And the rest of it needs to be painted black. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do this on camera because this is going to be incredibly fiddly and annoying, but I'm going to make use of my liquid mask, and I'm going to paint liquid mask on where we want to have the clear parts of the window, of the whatever cockpit, and then I'm going to paint the rest of it black so that I can then put those transfers on, because yeah, I want it to be right, and I can't believe I missed that. But hey, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, when it's painted probably. Just going to use a Vallejo black primer for it, so it won't take me very long to do the painting. I'll just put this on, let it go off, and then paint the whatsits, and then I can do the rest of the transfers, and then we can start working on these awesome icicles. And I got that painted up, and I'm much happier now that I've spotted that. Very pleased that I got that done. So I've just got a couple of more transfers to put on this, but I might actually, because I'm not really in a transfer applying mood today, I think I'm actually going to make a start with the little icicles. So I've just brought those over now, they're here. So what I'll do is I'm going to get myself set up, I'll get the camera pointed in correctly, and I'll try to capture some of it on camera. Then probably most of it I'll do off camera, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. But yeah, I'm not sure how many I'm going to go through, whether I'm going to go for 1 or 2 packets. But I'm going to sit down now and sit at my desk and work on these. And I'll set the camera up for a quick snap of what I'm doing. Most of it I'll do off camera. Right, so here we are at my desk. So I'm going to do a little bit of this on camera and then most of it off. So I've opened the packet, and the way these are, they're on little sprues, and they are actually attached as little runs, which is going to be really good, so you can remove it from the sprue very easily, work out roughly what you want to do. So if I'm going to start from the front, which is going to be here, I'm looking at the picture, I'm going to need to stick one to the little thing at the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of this off now. There we are. And I'm going to want to have some of the smaller ones. So if I offer that up, I think that if I go from that larger one there, offer it up again, I think that's going to work well, going to just before that large one there. So what we'll have, and I'll be able to get some other smaller ones as well from either on a different bit of the sprue, so you can see actually here's quite a good one as well, just there. That little one there is quite good. But I think this is going to be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on like that. Now the bead that it's actually sitting on is just a tiny bit too big. So this is where it could all go wrong, because we do want to keep them attached, otherwise they're just going to be impossible to place. I'm not going to be placing them individually. So let's see how well this is going to work. So a little bead, just spread that little bead of super glue out along, get my little icicles and place it on top, and there we are, we've got our first icicles. So what then happens is it comes along here and goes all the way along there. So this is where potentially I'm not going to cut. What I'm going to do is take this run here and glue it down like so. So we'll go from where it starts to where it ends there, and we'll just run a bead of super glue along roughly where we want to stick it. Now it might be that I end up needing to have the super glue activator for this, particularly where we've got a bend, but let's just see how it works. I know this is probably you're not able to see very much from the angle of the camera. Apologies. It could also be that if you want to do this a little bit better than I'm doing it, you could potentially warm these up, have a bowl of hot water, so warm them up so they get a bit more flexible, and then they might be easier to encourage into shape. There we are, nearly, just this last little bit. Well, what I might do is leave it to dry like that, and then once that's done, push this round, or I could get the super glue activator. I'm going to work on this without the camera running. I'll give you a few more hints and tips as I learn. This is the first time I've done it, so I'll be back in a bit with a little bit more of a understanding of how it works. But basically, that's the idea, and we're going to end up with the icicles coming all the way along here and coming all the way along the edge here and on the other side as well, and that's what I'm going to aim to do this evening. So yeah, I'll come back later with some more tips and update you on how it's gone. Well, would you look at that? Absolutely beautiful, and that was really, really easy. So this stuff is great. It actually bends quite easily. You can even mold it around your fingers and it stays in shape. But I did end up using my super glue activator just to make sure it stayed. But yeah, it's really, really good. And I didn't even use, I think I probably used about half of a pack to do all of this. So I've got loads more of that left over, which is also very, very awesome. So I'm really happy with that. I'm umming and ahhing about how I'm going to do the top. As I've said a few times, the top needs to have some kind of a frosting effect coming on here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and stick this down to the base, and then at least it can go somewhere and not get damaged, and then I can think and take some advice. If anyone has any advice on how to put frosting on the top, fire it over, but then I can put it to one side. And I might just leave it as it is. I might say if I get some advice or some suggestions, then I'll take that on board. I will possibly do some tests of my PVA idea on something that doesn't matter quite as much, and if that works, then maybe I'll just paint PVA over it and see what it looks like. So that might be something else I do, but I don't need to wait for that to stick it down to the base and make it slightly less likely to get damaged. So I'm gonna do that now. So I'll turn the camera around, go over to my other bench and get that done. And by the way, that only took about 20 minutes. It didn't take very long at all. It was a very quick process and I love it, absolutely love it. So one really cool thing with this kit, which is quite rare actually for the kits I'm building, is it is not a tail sitter. So it's just sitting there now with no glue and it's absolutely fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some glue onto the wheel and drop it down. That means I've got that location. This glue stick is actually running out. And then I'm going to come in here and get some glue on this wheel, which I've knocked a bit, and then on this wheel. It's actually not very easy to do this. Missed. Lift that off, turn it upside down. That's in completely the wrong place. So what I'll do is put some glue on the bottom of the wheels, like so, and then turn it back over, and hopefully that will, caught it on my paper. Hopefully into that, get it straight and central. The point I want is to make sure that that delicate nose probe does not go over the edge. Right, there we are. I think that's okay. Let's wipe that super glue I dropped from there. I'll keep it nice and clean. Right, so now I'm going to leave that to go off. I'm not going to spray it with the super glue accelerant because that does actually turn things a little bit white sometimes and I don't want that. So I'm going to leave that alone now, and then when that's gone off, which won't take very long, I'll be able to put that out on display, and wow, am I pleased. Got a few more transfers to put on by here as well, so I need to get that done, and then, as I say, put the frosting on top, but that's going to be something for another time.
Well, there we are. I think you can agree with me that that did turn out really cool, and I must admit it's in my library and I do look at it relatively often. It's on top of one of my bookshelves. Actually, it's on top of my DVD storage. I do have DVDs, yeah. And I just got it down the other day to have a look at it, and it still looks really cool. So let me know what you think in the comments below. As I said in the intro, I love those. I read them all. They really inspire me. And yeah, I hope that this might inspire you to maybe do something cool with one of your models. So I'll wrap up by saying, as I always do, thank you ever so much for watching. And please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.